Good afternoon. Hello, Ritchie Cridge. How are you?
Hi, Ashley. I'm good. How are you doing? Good to
No,
see you.
absolutely fantastic. No, I hope Jonathan was able to get his popcorn. Great that you're here early. I don't know how you managed that, mate, but well done. You win the prize. Ritchie Cridge, we go back quite a while, don't we?
We do now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to think about how long we've known each other now. It's racked up quickly.
Well, I'm gonna share this little book here. So this is Ritchie and I met during lockdown. Just when you set your business up, wasn't it?
It was,
We
yeah. I think
we
business was
used to
about a month
meet.
old.
We used to meet up regularly during lockdown. We've got to give a shout out to Vic Williams for that. And so during lockdown, we've both set up businesses. How crazy! How crazy!
I know.
So you're doing websites. Okay, tell us a little bit about what you do and who you are.
Yeah, so my name is Ritchie. I'm based in Taunton, Somerset, and I run a business called Connectable, which I set up 3 weeks prior to lockdown, prior to the first lockdown. Obviously, didn't know it was coming, so that was a bit scary. And we specialize in building WordPress websites. That is us in a nutshell.
Fantastic. So you know exactly what you're doing, and you've niched down a little bit recently, helping accountants and bookkeepers.
Yeah, we have indeed. So we've got to a stage where we knew that we wanted to focus on professional services businesses. So quite early on, that was a really good market for us, especially with my background in working for my county chamber of commerce. But then we started picking up a few accountants. Might have been something to do with you, Ashley. And then from there, we've got. I think it's. Do you know? I should have looked at this, but I think we've got 17 accountants that are clients at the moment.
Wow, that is incredible, man. That's
Yeah.
incredible. So, why do you like working with accountants then?
Do you know what it wasn't, don't hate me for this, but it wasn't that I even had any preference to begin with. It was just, well, wherever we get the work, that's where we'll go. But accountants, we started working with them, and then we started understanding their needs quite quickly. So I almost became an accountant actually when I was at college. So I was going to study my AAT, having done A-level accountancy, and it was only because of a girl that I liked, I decided to go to university instead. And not do AAT, but she's my wife now, so it all worked out in the end.
It was worth doing.
Yeah.
Excellent. I didn't know that. So you actually went to university because of Mrs. Cridge, who wasn't Mrs. Cridge at the time,
Yeah.
but otherwise you'd have been an accountant.
Yeah, I would have been. I would have gone on to
Wow.
study AAT. So I really enjoyed accountancy at college. It was the thing I was best at.
Oh, fantastic. So yeah, so that explains an awful lot. You've got an affinity there as well.
Yeah. So I've always got on quite well with it, but now, yeah, I think as a business we've really grown to understand what accountants need from their website, what accountants and bookkeepers need. So we're really good at helping them present themselves or articulate themselves in a way that their market can quite easily understand, so they can come to their website, and it's often it acts as sort of both reassurance and a tool for showing the additional services they provide. So their website often acts as a very good upsell to their existing clients too.
Yeah, no, absolutely perfect. Yeah, that was a stupid question, Jonathan. I do apologize. Yeah, accountants are lovely. Why else wouldn't you work with them? I've been in this space for nearly 15 years, and I totally agree, Jonathan. So what challenges are you seeing accountants have at the moment, Ritchie?
Do you know, with this, I was thinking on this, and for me, the biggest challenge that I see that they have is that it's a bit like web designers. Okay, on the face of it, we're all doing the same thing. Okay, so an accountant, Joe Blogs would think, okay, accountant, does what they say on the tin. Same with a web designer. Okay, but as a web designer and an accountant will know, there's so much more to your business than just what's on the face of it. And accountants, I think, more than anyone, struggle, in my experience, to really articulate what it is that they do and how they serve their clients. They're not always great at saying, actually, these are all the great things we do. They're not good at shouting about the great work that they're doing. And with us, I find that we're quite good at prompting them to say, well, actually, have you considered sharing this or talking about this and putting this on your website, And I think that is the biggest struggle that we see from a web design perspective.
I totally agree with you on that. And then the other thing is bookkeepers as well. They find it even harder to articulate that, because they generally, and this is a sweeping statement, that they see themselves as the poor relation to the accountants. And I'm sure Jonathan will come in and argue or agree with me, but they really do help accountants and are pivotal to that journey. No, that's great. So how can you help them with these challenges then, Ritchie?
So what we do and what we're great at is sitting with our clients and really talking through their business and what they do. So our initial conversation, right? We don't sit there in the initial call and say, right, okay, what is everything that you want from a website? Because actually, most people don't even know. So what we do is we sit with them and get to understand what their business is and what it is that they're great at. So we get to understand their core markets they're serving, how it is that they're delivering to those markets, help them to identify what's different and special about them. And then from there, we start to form what the website might look like. But I realized early on, we don't ever go in with, what do you want from your website? Because people don't know. They're like, well, we want more sales, or we want to increase spend on existing clients, for example. But they just don't know. So yeah, we're quite good at sitting with them to help them understand.
Yeah, no, and that is really important. And one of the things that when I recommend your services is that it's not a cookie cutter. There's certain there's certain companies out there that specialize with certain individuals, and if you look at what they do, you can tell that they've done it, and it can be it can be absolutely anything. And it's not like, right, you've had one of their whatever, and that you've had one of their widgets, and do you know what I mean? But your websites are all totally different, and that explains it, because you sit down with them beforehand and find out the story.
I think that's just it. That's what I like about our portfolio. You could go into it now, and all the websites are entirely different. We, as we always say to everyone, we start with a completely blank page. People don't ever ask, oh, what theme are you using, or what builder or whatever, because you can quite clearly see they're all completely different. They're all completely different depending on what's needed. So yeah, you're absolutely correct.
So that's fine if I've got the budget and the time to do that. But a lot of websites that I see, there was a time where, we need a website, we've got to get online, we've got to do a website, So what happens is we build a website, and I'll get someone to do it, or hang on a minute, my brother's uncle's kid's nephew does a little bit on website, so I get him to do it, and that was fine back then, because nobody else had a website. So if you had a 1 or 2 page website, then that was fine. But today, when you click on a website, you want it to look a little bit whizzy, and you want it to slide or whatever, and it's just you can tell whether it's a new website or an old website, can't you, just by looking at it?
It's so clear, because it with web design, it's one of those things. It's like phones, that it has all changed, and it's changed quickly. So a phone from even 5 years ago is quite visibly different to today, let alone 10 years ago, which we see a lot of professional services websites, so, especially accountants and bookkeepers who have sites from 10 odd years ago, which is fine. It's done the job. It's so clearly a 10-year-old site, because nothing moves. It's very static. It's very, if I can say, HTML based. It's just very to the point and doesn't move. There's nothing fancy about it, and I think it served its purpose back in the day. But now, if you look at a site like that versus somebody who's invested not even a huge amount in their business, and even if it's a small website, then it can, you're going to go with them because you think, okay, well, they care, they're on the ball with it.
Yeah, it's like, all right, if you walk down the high street, there's a couple of shops that have recently had a lick of paint or a new sign.
Yeah.
And there's those shops that maybe it's due, and there's those shops that, well, we did that. We did that back in the 80s. We don't need to do it again. And it's sort of like, oh, wonder why there's a queue out up the road for the posh for the new one, and not the one that's been here forever. Do you know what I mean? And I guess that's the same with websites. So when you're browsing, it's sort of like, oh, so and so accountants. I'll click on their website. Oh my goodness. Oh, are they going to be any good? They're brilliant, but what we're seeing is that. So the thing is, though, right? I'm an accountant or a bookkeeper, and I've got this website that that my cousin's dog did 10 years ago. I don't really want any more business. So why am I? What? How can you help me?
I think that. Do you know what? We had this conversation with somebody recently.
We had this conversation recently. We've got to guess what he was going to say. So meanwhile, Jonathan, you did agree with me. So thank you for that. I hope Ritchie comes back. And I wonder whether you're actually seeing anything that Ritchie's doing. Jonathan, put a note in the thing. Is Ritchie talking, or am I talking over him? See, he's up in Somerset. That's what it is. Jonathan, let me know what you're seeing. Oh, what a shame. That is a real shame. Like I said, so I've known Ritchie for an awful long time, and he's doing so. Oh, he's back. He's back.
There we go.
I missed all of that.
I saw when I joined the streaming platform, it said, "Don't forget to use an Ethernet cable. Wi-Fi isn't always reliable." and then as soon as you ask that question, boop. Yeah, go on. Ask the question again, please, and I'll.
Look, I've just run around panicking. I've forgotten what the question was.
It was how do we help? It was along the lines of how do we help accountants who might necessarily not be accountants and bookkeepers that might not necessarily be looking for more clients, And I think and that was the conversation we had recently, and it all comes back to that upsell thing as well, and saying, okay, well, you may not be looking for additional clients to take on additional workload in that respect, but do your existing clients know everything that you do offer? Have you got somewhere that you can send them that looks clean and professional, and just say, well, actually, this is everything that we do. These are things you might want to consider going forward. It's a quick way of just sending that over to them.
Yeah, no. So I've literally just seen a message from Yvonne. Websites are also great to recruit good talent. Often people want to check out a company. So yeah, I'm looking for a new job and I see that rubbish website. So
Yvonne has raised such a fantastic point there. Yvonne, I'm going to take a note, because honestly, that needs to go into our sales pitch, because that is a great point. We've put a good few careers pages on accountants' websites, and what they were before, it was horrendous. And now all of a sudden we've got great, it's displayed brilliantly with great job specs and the ability for candidates to register their interests, upload documents, etc. So yeah, that's a brilliant point. It's not just about attracting external, it is very much not just about attracting clients, it is very much about attracting talent too.
Yeah, that's brilliant. The connection did go, Nicola, and now I'm flailing and panicking. Ritchie, tell us about this new website thing. Then give us the whole rundown of what you're doing now.
So what with the new one? Did you say? Yeah. So what we've done is touching on that point where we do get clients who want just a simple build. I mean, it's quite often people will come to us and say, "Oh, we just want a simple build, simple, very small, just 3 pages, home, about us, how to get in touch, And what we've done for that, we've released something called templatewebsite.co.uk. So we released that a few weeks ago. And that is just essentially what it says on the tin. That is a template website, and it's brilliant for just entering your information in certain sections, can replace all the images, replace all the branding, etc., and just get you up and running. So while I am still very much an advocate of getting something completely personalized to you, I mean, that will always be the best thing you can do as a business. That is a great solution for those businesses who have a 10-year-old website and essentially need a lick of paint and to freshen it up and say, this is who we are today. and
Yeah.
not break
Okay.
the bank with it.
So why is this different to something like Wix or Squarespace? Is it Squarespace?
Yeah, so do you know it's very much the same concept. The only difference is we manage it all for you. So you can go to Wix, Squarespace, Weebly, a lot. There are loads of great builders out there, and a lot of people do it, and it's absolutely fine. But I can promise you now there will be issues with how the site looks on mobile, with things not being in the right place. You'll be sat there having a headache over a navigation menu which isn't quite right. Whereas us, you just send us all of the information. We make it super easy for you to send it over to us. We add it all to the site. We tweak things as you need them. It's £150 plus VAT to set it all up, and then £50 a month thereafter, and we take care of everything. That's why someone would come to us over Squarespace.
I love that. I love that. So love the cut of your jib. Don't want to go for the full service at the moment, but this is going to be a great way of getting started. No, absolutely superb.
Yeah.
And
What I will say, actually, the great thing about it's easy to bolt onto as well. You know, if you say, well, okay, 6 months down the line, we want another 3 pages, then we can just bolt that on. So it's really straightforward for them.
Yeah, no, we got loads of comments coming in. If anyone's got a question for I was just showing Ritchie this right at the beginning. If anyone's got a question for Ritchie, please put those questions in. But yeah, we've got loads of comments coming in now. Websites are good for attracting clients, talented workforce, even collaborators such as yeah, absolutely, Jonathan.
Yeah,
That's another good one there. Yeah, if you go to networking events, people want to check you out, don't they? So it's like, oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm a bookkeeper, and they're gonna sometimes they'll actually get their phone out and, oh, let's have a look at your website.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
We've got another. This is a long one. Hi,
yeah,
Stephen. How are you?
Just try to read.
Someone said to me recently that a website should be an online brochure. Oh, did you slap them right in the face, Stephen? That was years ago, wasn't it, Ritchie, when it was an online brochure? Surely, yeah. But I think that's wrong. A website should not just describe our business, but put ourselves in the customer's. Oh, yeah, perfect. Anything to add there, Ritchie?
Yeah, so this is what I don't know if you're here at the towards the beginning of the call, Stephen, but this is something I touched on then as well, saying that our initial conversation with a client, it's not just about saying, okay, what do you want from a website? Because most of them don't know. It's about really understanding their business and then understanding what it is that their customers will be looking for as well. So yeah, you're absolutely correct.
Yeah, cool. I love this question. I don't have a website yet, but it's on the to-do list. This starter service sounds great. This was built for this person. LinkedIn user, we don't know who you are, but if you've got any other questions and you write your name in, we can give you a shout out. But yeah, that's absolutely perfect. That's what this service was built for, isn't it?
Yeah. That's it. Or I can see the next question.
Yeah.
I love this. No, definitely not. You do not need a fancy logo to start with by any stretch. You've got companies like PepsiCo, is it, that they spent like a million plus on their logo, and then you've got other great companies that turn over millions and spend almost nothing. Then you've got the flip side of that as well. I look at the first logo that we did. Okay, it took me, I don't know, 5 minutes. It was not great, and that's from a web design company saying that. But the point is, you don't need to. Don't put tons of time into things which aren't putting money into your bank account, because nobody really cares at this stage. It's just, can you do the job well? Are you going to deliver what you say you will deliver? That's all that counts, at a price that's reasonable, that people are happy to pay for said service. So no, don't spend ages on the logo.
That's exactly the same question from Jonathan. So what stage should someone approach you, Ritchie?
Well, now we've released a new arm to the business, from anything from day one to their, if they're going for a third website build. I find that our bread and butter seems to be professional services businesses who are getting their second or third website done. That's what it's been until now. But with the new template website.co.uk model, people could come to us as soon as they set up, and then for 150 quid setup fee, and then 50 quid a month thereafter, everything is plus VAT. they're taken care of. So that could, from day one to years in.
And the first thing I did was get myself a website when I set up, because it just makes you're present, aren't you?
Well, it makes your business feel more real as well.
Yeah,
it's the same reason you can do a little logo, but don't worry about putting tons of time in, because it's not money in your pocket. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Same reason, you get branded things, like people get branded pens, mugs, clothing, all of that. That's fine. And I'm a huge advocate of it, but just make sure you've got money coming in before you're spending on that sort of thing. People who are too quick to want to spend a lot of money on an absolutely slick 10 out of 10 website, and they've not turned over 10, 20k yet. So
it's crazy, isn't it? Yeah. Cool. So we're going to get total honesty from Ritchie. It's supposed to be 15 minutes for accountants and bookkeepers. So we've already overrun. How can people get hold of you?
They can go to connectablesw.co.uk, or they can find me on LinkedIn, or they can find us on just about any social media platform under connectablesw, or they can go to templatewebsite.co.uk. They can message in the chat. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, if they put a comment, on here, then you'll go and where is it? There it is, there somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. And as well, what I will say, if to that person that commented, I think it might be Irina. She, you said you were looking at getting a website started. We always welcome conversations with absolutely no obligation. We don't actually chase anyone after an initial conversation with them. So we'll never send you a follow-up email other than the one say, it was great to speak with you. Here's our contact details. We're not going to contact you even in a month's time, 3 months time, and say, oh, you're still thinking about doing it. If you want to do it, you'll come to us. And that's the way that we work.
No, perfect. I love that. I got one more question, but we're running out of time, and I've got another question coming up. Let's put this one up first.
Yeah.
How can you get a website to improve your service to existing clients rather than just attract new ones? Wow, that's a cool question.
To improve your service, I want to make sure I interpret this right, because the way that I almost read that question to start with is, so how do you website to improve your service?
I read that as I want a website. I want it to look really, really good.
Yeah.
But please don't get me any more customers because I'm really busy.
Yeah. I read that as that. And I think to improve the service, I suppose it's from a service perspective, it's about going back to that whole thing of saying, okay, well, here's everything that we do in a nutshell for you. Here's everything you can see. So it streamlines the customer experience or the customer journey. That can be with your existing clients, and you can say, well, here's everything else that we do. Here's everything else that we take care of, everything we can do for you. It could be resource downloads as well. That's a really good one for having on the site. And so that when people want things, you can just say, well, go to this page on the website. Here's all the resources you can download. You've got everything you need. So I think that's a good way of improving the service to existing clients.
Fantastic. Excellent.
Yeah, and to come into Stephen's last question there, it doesn't even need to be a shared portal. No, you could have it. You could have it as two ways. You could have it as just an unlisted page if you wanted to, or you could have it as a member portal to log into, or you could just have it as a private link. So
loads of flexibility. No, absolutely fantastic. That's super cool. Thank you for everyone's questions. That is brilliant. I just got to turn all these off because I want to introduce next week. We have got the amazing Kelly Dorn coming on. She's from Otter QMK. And she is a marketer. So I'm looking forward to having a chat with her. This is the last show before Christmas. So I think we're going to be sharing a Bailey's, I think she said. So I'm looking forward to that one. I was just going to say Kelly will be great to hear from because she comes at it all from a marketing perspective as well. Yeah, absolutely. Very good. I've put thought into my guests, So finally, last question. What did you want to be when you grew up? When you were at primary school? Anyone who knows me will tell you I wanted to be a business owner. Oh, boom. You've done it. Absolute truth. Yeah. Won it from as young as I could remember. Wow. Wow. So
I
you're
always
living your
said wanted
best
to run a
life.
business. Yeah, didn't know what I wanted to do, but knew I wanted to run a business, and then just sort of fell into web design as I built websites for other businesses that I had run, and then I realized that was what I love doing, and that was the business.
Fantastic. Jonathan's summed it up perfectly. It is a great interview. It's only a great interview because I got great guests. Ritchie, Cridge, thank you so much for coming on. And thank you very much for all the comments and everything else. And yeah, and we've still yet to meet.
Yeah, I know. Do you know what? We will need to. Well, I've got to take you out to lunch anyway as a thank you, so I will do.
Well, so on Friday, I'm moving my daughter up to Taunton. So I will be up in your neck of the woods a lot more often than I currently am. So we will sort something out.
Yes,
So
that honestly, gladly. And yeah,
I
thanks
look
everyone
forward
for
to
the
that.
questions. Really good to speak to a few people about this. So
Fantastic.
yeah,
Have I
thoroughly
asked how
enjoyed
we
it.
can get hold of you?
Yeah, you did.
I
Yeah,
have did that.
yeah,
Yeah,
really
brilliant.
good.
Have a lovely Christmas. Thank
Yeah,
you
you
so
too.
much. Cheers, everybody. See you next week. All the
Yeah,
best. Bye
cheers.
bye.